Dear students, in this video I will give you an idea about ListView and GridView, two important GUI components in Android Studio. ListView is a GUI component which helps you to list a group of items in an activity. User can select any item from the list box by clicking on it. List view is scrollable by default. An example for an application which uses list view is contact application in your mobile phone. In contact application, what you will find is a list of names of people whose phone number is available in your mobile phone. So just by clicking on a particular name, you can get detailed information about a particular user in another activity. Here you can see a very simple application which I have developed using list view. Here a list box is created with different country names. The blue line that you see here is used for separating different items in the list box. It can be called a divider line. When you make a selection, that selection should be displayed in a particular color. If you want, you can do that by writing code. Here I am displaying the selected item in purple color. I have written code for doing that. When I make a selection, what selection I have done, that is displayed at the bottom of the screen. So we will see how to create a simple application having list view of this type. So the first step that you should know is, if you want to create a list view, you should add a list view tag in your XML file. ID, layout width, layout height, etc. can be specified for giving a unique ID for the list view and also for specifying the width and height of the list view. If you want to fill a list view with a list of items, you need to use adapters. These are the most important properties of list view. ID is used for specifying a unique identification for the list view. Divider is used for specifying a color for the divider line so that we can separate different list view items. Divider height specifies what should be the height of the divider line. List selector is a property that specifies a color for the selection. When you make a selection, in what color it should be displayed. If you are using #0F0, the selected item will be appearing in green color. The background color of the selected item will be in green color. An adapter is an important component that should be used when you are working with a list view. It will be acting as a bridge between list view and a data source. Data source will be having the list of items that you want to add to a list view. Two types of adapters are mainly used in Android. They are array adapter and base adapter. Array adapter is used when the list of items to be added to a list view is available in an array. Syntax of declaring an array adapter is given here. You have to use the normal syntax that is meant for creating an object. That is class name, array adapter first, then object name equal to new constructor. When you specify the constructor, you have to specify what type of items you want to add to the array. Here I want to add some strings, that is country names. Array adapter constructor requires 4 different arguments. They are, first one is a reference to the current activity. Second one, you need to create a special XML file when you want to work with list view. So you have to specify a list view object and also a text view object, and then you have to specify an array holding the list of items. So this is the sample application that we are going to create, a list view having a list of country names. To create this application, we will be creating an empty activity and an additional XML file. In the activity file, In the Java file, we will be designing a user interface having a list view. Then what should be done when we click an item in the list box? That also should be specified in the main activity.java file. In activity main.xml file, we will be creating a list view and a text view. We will be creating an additional XML file, and in that we just have to add a text view tag. So this is the code for activity main.xml file. We are adding a list view tag and text view tag. List view tag is meant for creating a list box. Text view tag is meant for displaying what item that you have selected. The main activity, we have to create references for the list view object and text view object. Then I am defining a string array for storing different country names. Within the onCreate method, we are getting the IDs of all the user interface elements which we have created in the XML file. Then we are combining the array adapter and with the list view object, so that from the array names of countries can be pulled out and it can be kept on the list box. Then when you click on the list box, if you want to get a response, we have to register on item click listener. What should be done when we click on an item? That should be specified in method called onItemClick. What we have to do is selected item should be displayed. Either you can set the selected item in a text box, or else you can use a toast message. Adapter XML is a requirement of adapters. Here you are using an array adapter. That's why this extra XML file is created. In this, you have to add a text view object. You have to take this particular sample program as a model, and you have to do this program. You have to display a list of engineering colleges in the list view using an array adapter. Then display the selected engineering college in a text box. To try this question, you can use the program as the model. Here you can see a different kind of list box. That is, in this, every list item is having a text and an image. If you want to create a list box of this type or list view of this type, you need to use base adapter. With array adapter, you cannot create a list view of this type. Just for the time being, you just learn only the simple type of list view having a list of items only. List view with images need the use of base adapter instead of array adapter. We will see the use of base adapter when we learn grid view. Okay. Next, we can see what is meant by a grid view. Grid view is another user interface element which can store items in a grid-like architecture, that is in rows and columns. An example for an application which used grid view is a gallery application. When you open a gallery application, what you will find is a list of photos arranged in rows and columns. Here you can see a sample application where you can see something like a gallery. A list of a number of photos of birds are shown here. If I click on a particular photo, it's enlarged photo. The enlarged photo can be seen on a different activity. When you want to develop this type of applications, you have to use a grid view tag in your application. So gallery application is an example for application which uses grid view. To fill the grid view, we will be using adapter. To create a grid view in your application, you have to use grid view tag. in your XML file. An important property that you should know for the grid view tag is num columns. Num columns will specify how many columns should be there in a row. If you are specifying three columns will be there in one row. These are the other important properties of grid view. You just go through this. So we have seen that adapters are used for filling a grid view or a list view. So here we will be using base adapter. In the last program we have used array adapter. So here an activity main.xml file is created which is having a grid view tag. This is a lab question that you have to try. Show the pictures of different birds in the form of a grid. When an item is clicked, the bird image should be displayed in full size. So we can see how to do that. So first we have to create an empty activity which is having two files, a Java file and XML file. In the XML file we will be creating a grid view tag to create a grid. So this is the application that for which the code is available in Google Classroom. So if you want to develop an application of this type, first you should have these images, right? You know how to create and work with images. What you have to do is you have to download some JPG images of birds from internet and store it in your drawable folder. That is the first step that you have to do. I have done that, and I have done, after that I have done this particular program. So please do remember to download pictures of birds from internet and store it in your drawable folder. Then only you will be able to proceed. Then what we will do is we will be creating an array of integer array. In that we will be storing references of all the bird images that we have put in drawable folder. Then we have to create an adapter class. In this application I have named it as custom adapter, and it is created by extending base adapter class. So in your application there will be two Java files and 3 XML files. The main activity file, you will be creating a user interface having grid view, and you will be writing code for what should be done on clicking an item. Actually what you want to do is, when you select a bird image, you want to go to another activity and display the selected bird image there. So here the second activity is meant for displaying the selected bird image. So using indent you will be passing the reference of the bird image selected, and using get indent you can get the indent and display the image of the second activity. Here GridView.xml is an additional XML file that is meant for keeping an image view tag. Here you need an XML file for additional XML file for creating an image view tag. In the other program, in the case of list view, the additional XML file we have created a text view tag because we wanted to display a list of text items. Here we are displaying a list of image items. So you just go through these codes. So here within the on item click method, I am creating an indent. This indent is meant for moving from main activity to second activity. As it moves from main activity to second activity, it is passing a reference of the bird image which has been selected by the user. This is the code for custom adapter. Custom adapter is a class that is extended from base adapter. Here the only thing that we are doing is we are extending some, we are writing code for the constructor of the custom adapter class, and also we are overriding some methods called getCount, getItem and getItem ID. Some methods which are defined in base adapter class. You just code it as it is. You are already familiar with layout inflator. We have studied about it when we have studied about menus. In GetView method, we are writing code for displaying the image in the image view. The second activity, this code is meant for displaying the selected bird image on an activity. With the help of indent, we are getting the reference of the selected bird image, and using set image resource method, we are displaying the image on the screen. You just try to do this code. The entire code is available in Google Classroom. Try out that code. If you have any difficulty, I shall help you in lab. Thank you.